I will show you the caption. Okay. So this video is from Paris. Let me bring up the screen here. All right. So I don't
Oh,
know if you've seen this.
oh, I saw that.
Ha-
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
have
it's
you
been
seen
doing rounds.
this?
A lot of conservative white supremacists are posting this video, and they're like, "Oh, the France is lost without a war or something." Is it?
So let me play it. This is in Paris, okay? I had people from Iran contact me and ask me, this can't be real, Armin. Can you have information? You know a lot about AI because I talk about AI a lot on my Persian show, right? So like, Armin, this is AI, isn't it? Because this can't be real.
This is real.
And like, no, no, like this is real. AI hasn't got to the point where it can make this, but like the people in Iran, they can't believe like they're like, has the West fallen? Like, what is this? I mean, like people like this is what we're trying to end in Iran, but it seems like the rest of the world
Yeah,
is
it's so
like,
stupid.
okay, but yeah, but let me play it.
Sounds Punjabi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It sounds Punjabi. Is it Persian?
No, so there's Shia, there's Shia, but they're
Yeah,
not speaking, but they're
Persian.
speaking Punjabi.
Yeah,
No,
that
they're not.
sound,
No,
I can't make out what they're saying either, but like it sounds Punjabi, but I can't make out any single word. But the
yeah,
dialect sounds Punjabi.
yeah. So,
It
so
could be
do
Urdu.
you
Yeah.
understand? Do you understand what they're saying at all?
No, I don't. But it, as I said, like it sounds Urdu or Punjabi. Like there could be Pakistani Shias. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't. But it sounds like it. But I can't make out
So
what they're
yeah,
saying.
this is a little bit of my world and a little bit of your world because they're Shia, they're doing very Shia things, but they're not speaking Persian. They're speaking your language.
Yeah, hell,
Like,
no, but I can't make it out. I can't make out what they're saying either. I don't. Yeah, there could be my people
but
believing in your beliefs.
yeah, but it's weird because it's this is weird from so many in so many different ways. First of all, the first thing is that it's in Paris, right?
Yeah,
That is weird. But also the fact that they are like, this is what we see scenes like this a lot because from a Shia, but they're speaking a language that we don't see Shias usually speak in, right? And then so for a lot of people in Iran, this is like, okay, they're doing Shia things, they're not speaking Persian. Who the hell are these people? But from your people, from your perspective, these are people that are speaking the language that your people are used to, but they're doing things that your people are not used to. So this is a crossover of so many, like it's France, it's like Urdu or Punjabi, and it's Shia like in Iran. Like it's like a cross of so many
yeah.
different things.
But all these things are possible. Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
Pakistan.
yeah.
They say that they're about 10% Pakistanis are Shias. So 10% of
Okay.
200
I
million is what
I
2 million.
know. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. I'm just describing how the audience, the people who are watching this, they're confused in so many different ways. Like from
Oh
people,
yeah.
like when I was contacted about this from people in Iran, they were confused about the fact that this is in Paris, and they were also confused about like, what the hell is this language? Like, what who are these people? Why are they doing Shia things in Paris in this language? So it was
But
so bizarre to them. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, but yeah, it's so bizarre to them. Like, but why are Iranians behaving like Americans? Like, as if they have no understanding of what's happening in the outside world. Like, I mean, these kind of things, these kind of congregations, these kind of processions take place all over the Western world. Muslims
Oh,
do
because
this,
it's not
Shias do it,
it's not
Sunnis
just
do it.
American. It's an American thing to think that there's just is just Americans, okay?
Okay. That's what I was gonna say. Like, it's like, hang on a second, does that also happen out in the outside world as well? Like, yeah, it does happen. Like, we've seen these kind of processions in London, like even in much bigger number than that.
Okay, people, for example, in Iran and in Pakistan might be somewhat more aware about the outside world than Americans, okay, but not so much. They get confused a lot.
They get confused with this. That's pretty basic. I mean, surely they don't believe that. Hey, it's Shias only live in Iran, or there's only only Iranians can be Shias. I mean, surely they don't believe that. I mean, there could be other Shias from Malaysia as well, maybe the Indonesian
Yeah,
Shias as well. Actually, I don't know that, but there
no,
would
they
be.
say sometimes. No, sometimes I hear them saying weird things. I had like a really famous person right now. I was reviewing a new Persian video. I was like, "Oh yeah, of tomorrow in the future of Iran, it will be like America, where nobody would have the right to come and ask you what is your religion." I'm like,
Huh?
wait a minute, people have that right in America. People ask you, what are you talking about? Like you're like, oh, religion would be so unimportant. Nobody would be talking about religion like in America. Like, dude, have you been to America? Like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? Like, people, religion is a big topic there. Like, I don't understand. So
No,
no,
but
that level of ignorance does exist.
yeah, but and you said he's someone famous or something, and but these kind of
Someone
these.
famous who lives outside of Iran. Someone who
Whoa.
lives in Canada, I think. Like, what the hell? How do you not know
Whoa.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, but I think yeah. Look, I know that that happens a lot with Pakistanis because they kind of ghettoize wherever they go, and they don't establish contact with other communities, even in these Western countries. They insulate themselves from other communities. But I don't know. Like, I mean, of course, we can't stereotype or generalize anything. I mean, they're kind of silly people. There are silly people even within the community of smart people. Like a person could be really smart, but he can be really, really stupid in certain aspects. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I was going to
Yeah,
make a
but
point. I forgot.
what do you think? What do you think about this whole um the fact that we're seeing more and more stuff like this in Europe and in North America? Like, are you alarmed? Or do you think like this is just what religious people they should be able to do it? Like, why are we upset? Why are people alarmed about this? What do you think?
Oh, as an atheist and as someone who doesn't like religion, I mean, obviously, I want people to have their religious freedoms. But to me, this is not a pretty sight, though.
Mm.
I feel like it's a step in a backward direction. And I know I'll get accused of being, like, oh, bigoted towards religious people, blah, blah, blah. But I see that as a step in a backward direction for these Western countries who cleanse their environment or who cleanse their society from these silly rituals. Like even Christianity was beautified to an extent that we don't see aggressive Christian overtures or, like all we see is like, oh, Easter's, oh, that's so cute. Oh, Christmas, oh, that's so cute. We don't see anything. So they cleanse their society from all of those things. And then they said, oh, we got to bring in migrants. Again, migration is good thing. Skilled migration is very good. Some right-wing conservatives who just uh, criticize their governments for immigration. Well, if they stopped immigration, then you would literally your population would start falling so rapidly. You would there's already a crisis. I mean, that's the reason why Macron just raised the retirement age, because there are less taxpayers. I think I was looking at a stat now. They're going to have three taxpayers per one elderly because there's a population decline. So how do you make up for it? By bringing in immigrants. But with immigrants, these other issues come with them too. So I just
Yeah.
see that it's sad. Like only if the whole world had moved forward away from religion together, then we would not have had that issue. But although that it's not all is not lost though. Like if you bring in Indian immigrants, so if you bring Chinese immigrants, they don't bring their religious baggage in a way Muslims do, for example. So I am. I, when I zoom out and I look at only, I think in France there's only 8% of French population is Muslim, and that's the biggest in Europe. I think is it 8% or maybe 10%. I could be wrong
I don't
actually.
know.
Actually, let me check. The Muslim percentage
I
in France. I think in Britain is 8%, 10%. Okay,
mm,
okay. So when I zoom out, when I look at it, I think only 10% of the French population is Muslim. Sizable minority. but it's still very small. So I'm not worried that something is like they're just gonna take over. Kind of like how these white supremacists, how they become alarmist. How I've seen this video
Yeah,
being shared by white
like
supremacists saying
the
that,
death of
oh, it's lost, the West
the
has fallen, Paris is gone. I'm
yeah.
like, come on. So I'm not alarmed like that. I just see that. I just like what we spoke about in our previous video, that I'm just hopeful that from within the Muslim community there's going to be an emergence of liberal Muslims who are going to tame this animal of radical Islam.
Yeah, so I have maybe, I don't know, people are not gonna like this, but I have an optimistic view about this. I just want to put that out there, okay?
No,
But
no, that'd be a
right,
good sign. No, I want to see a
yeah.
positive sign. Yeah.
So I welcome this. I welcome that scene actually. Okay, I think for
Your inner
too
Shia hasn't
long,
died yet. That's why.
yes. Why look at this. This is the shit. I think that for too long, because I see Islam as a global problem, not a Muslim country problem, right? And I think that this monster, this disease, right? It's if it's too out of sight, out of mind, the world would not take it seriously. I
Mm,
think for people to take this threat seriously,
seriously.
we need a little bit of it everywhere.
We need more exhibitionist kind of Muslims who basically reminding you, hey, look, like if you don't see the monster, then you don't know how dangerous the monster
Yeah,
is. Okay, that's a
yeah,
good
yeah,
point.
yeah,
I take that.
yeah.
And this is
Also,
why we used to, and this is why we appreciate people like Hakikachu and people like Hijabs, and it was like, yes, you tell, see, look at him, look what
yeah,
Hakikachu is saying. Hakikachu is saying like that's okay, even if it's a baby is 11 months old. Okay.
yes.
So yeah, I
Also,
okay.
uh, yeah. Also, in many places, we don't have access to Muslims, right?
Mm,
So if we can't go to Pakistan, if we can't go to Saudi Arabia, okay,
we
why
can
not
go there.
have Pakistan come here and then we could, it's easier for us to access your children, dear Muslims, when they are in the United States and Canada or France or UK. Okay, we can't target your children where you have them safely tucked in somewhere in Saudi Arabia or in Pakistan or in Bangladesh. But when you bring them here, now we have access to them. It's
I,
easier for us to brainwash your children into liberalism.
I
So,
have I have a little pushback though. So obviously, basically, you're going towards globalization. You're saying the more communities intermingle, the more liberal they would eventually become. But
exactly.
globalization has been going on for quite some time in the modern world, postmodern world, post Second World War. We have third and now even fourth generation Muslims, especially in Europe. How do you respond to that? That if we go by what you're saying, that if it's easier to access or quote unquote brainwash them with liberalism,
Yeah.
why hasn't it happened with them, third or fourth generation Muslims living in Europe?
Well, because this is like you're thinking too short term, right? Like we have to look more long term. Also, it
Eight
is
generations?
happening. Yeah, yeah. Also, it is. We're already seeing it happening. I mean, there. Look at, for example, in North America. Look how. I mean, there. You have to You have to separate the beliefs, okay, versus the appearance, right? So even Muslims who are keeping the appearance of being conservative, they are with when it comes to their beliefs, they're becoming closer and closer and closer to the rest of society. So it used to be the case where Muslims in Western countries, they were the ones who dressed up like other people who are not Muslim, but they were still Muslim, and they were like, okay, these are the liberal Muslims. And then we had Muslims who wear long beards or like full on hijab or whatever they put on their head or like the clothing. And they were like, okay, these people are like serious conservative Muslims, right? and they go to the mosque and the other ones don't go to the mosque. But now it's getting to the point where that's not really, the division is not as clear. Like we have full bearded, mosque going, Quran reading, Islamic class attending Muslim who is like, yeah, LGBT rights all the way. Like what? And when we, like, you go into the mosques in the United States, and now they have, inside the mosques they have gender mixing. So people are worried about creeping Sharia. I think it's the other way around. I
Creeping
think Muslims
liberalism.
need to, creeping liberalism.
And have you seen how Daniel Gikachi has been going after people like Sheikh Yasser Qadi and all these other guys? He's saying that you are diluting Islam beyond recognition and beyond
And
repair.
and he's right. And he's right. And
I
these are by
agree.
people, that look like serious, like, a right leaning American would be like, oh, that's just the Taliban, or that's just like Al Qaeda. That looks like Al Qaeda. But these people with that sort of look are spreading, like, they're creeping liberalism into the Muslim world.
Yeah, that's
So,
creeping liberalism. I think that's a good one. We got to use that as creeping liberalism. And
yeah,
again,
exactly.
and the fact that there's a guy I recently debated with, and he's all about anti-liberalism. Like he's a Pakistani YouTuber now. I had a very good debate with him. I think over 150,000 people look watched it last I looked at it. And there are YouTubers coming out who are just focusing on atheism and liberalism. I mean, being anti them. And they're doing university seminars, which is so unfair in a way that, hang on, I'm not allowed to go to Pakistani universities and give my lectures, but these guys are given a free hand. They already have a head start. But still, the very fact that people like Daniel Hakikachu and these guys, Rajas and all these guys, they're talking about it because they're also worried about this creeping liberalism. So that's a good thing.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Look, I mean, yeah, I thought about it before too. I think, yeah, you have a solid point because, especially with AI and all this, uh, an average kid in Pakistan is looking Chat GPT. They're asking these questions now. When these people come and call me, I say, "Why don't you just ask Chat GPT about evolution instead of asking me? Why don't you think? Why don't you ask Chat GPT how did whales lose their hind legs? Why don't you ask that Chat GPT? See what it says." And people are
Yeah.
doing it, and the people come and people look into it, and then again, still their mind tells them, "No, no, no, evolution is false." But hang on, ChatGPT seems so convincing. It has an answer for everything. It knows more about it than my. And they, you know what they're loving, because ChatGPT is pretty good with the Quran references as well. Like it's pretty good. It's getting better. Like you ask
Yeah,
it, like,
it's getting
okay,
better.
what's this? Which Quranic verse talks about Jonah? Oh yeah, so and so. I was like, oh, okay, that's pretty good. It's actually better than Google.
Yeah, yeah,
So
it's
so
so
yeah,
much better.
all of this is going to. So let's not turn it into creeping Chat GPT. But yeah, all of this is damaging Islam. So I don't. Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right. I mean, you as you
Yeah,
always say, liberalism, life is just too good.
too good for liberalism. Yeah, yeah. So I think I welcome this. I know there's going to be some events where people are like, oh my God, is this what you welcomed, Armin? Like, well, of course I didn't welcome that, but I welcome, like, we can get to Muslims. So like Muslim countries, send us your masses, send us your Muslims, so we let us and see
I
what we
don't think
can
the
do with them,
conservatives won't
right?
like it. I think conservatives won't like it.
I know, I know, but
No, no creaming. I mean,
no,
you're not. I mean, we don't like you anymore. We never liked you because you're too liberal anymore, but we don't like you anymore because we don't want more Muslims to come to our countries. And make more
no.
babies, but they don't even make babies.
I mean, I
Population
never
growth.
appeal to I mean, I never.
Yeah,
This
you
will.
know that.
I never appeal to conservatives, anyways. So
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think they.
true. Yeah,
I
they
don't
never
think
li-
they like
they
me to
never
begin
liked us anyway.
with.
We could have extended our reach so much
Oh yeah,
had we
yeah, yeah.
gotten in bed with those conservatives. But I guess
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we're
yeah.
we're, the-
It's
we're, we're in the long.
because white conservatives and Hindu conservatives. You know how easy it would
Mm.
have been. You know, some
Hindu,
people like
Hindu
went that
conservatives are
way.
so much easier. Hindu conservatives are so much
Ooh,
easier.
yeah, if you go the creeping Sharia and the of Europe route, you will be able to so easily gain a mass following from both the from right leaning people in the West and from India. Like
In
people
India,
who
you say
live in
love
Tibet.
jihad. In India, you use love jihad, and in the West, you use creeping Sharia and become anti-migrant because they would want a
Yeah,
brown poster boy for their movement. Why wouldn't they want it?
yeah. there would be so there would, you know, like people like Yasmin Mohammed heavily leaned into that, and she's saying all the benefits from that. But you know,
No. But is she
but
really that? She never really. Like, I know she gets regular interviews and on TV and conservative TV, but she's not. Yeah, she was never that impressive. So I think you got to be a little smart too.
yeah, you have to
So
be
to
smart,
make
because like
yeah,
you never what you have to do is you never call out anti-Muslim bigotry. You know what I mean? That would be, I mean,
she's
no,
never done it.
you know,
Yeah. She's
yeah,
never
yeah,
done it. She threw us under the bus every time. She even gets in the lap of radical Hindus. So yeah, I
yeah.
mean, she's well, anyway. Just forget about her.